Hi, I'm Kelly and Cass. Welcome to this channel, Stone the Crone. A bit about myself is I am a hardcore recycler, and by that I mean I upcycle everything I can get my hands on. In my house, it's still good. That's my motto. It's still good. So that's had me doing a lot of art projects over the years. I love mosaic. Mosaic is one of my absolute favorite things. I mean, I can turn something that's broken and damaged into something else. For example, if you go back on my playlist, you'll see that I've actually mosaiced my bathroom. And I mosaiced that out of broken bits of mirror, vases, cups, plates. So this had me thinking and contemplating because at the moment I'm making myself a turfy blanket, a turfy rug, um, basically. So this particular blanket, this particular rug is made up of some old belly dancing skirts of mine that I couldn't let go, and I'm not performing like I used to, but my costumes were really important to me. They're really special to me. So I had two beautiful velvet skirts, and one was a green one and one was a purple one. Big, big, big. I think that they call them 26-yard skirts, which means they're a tiered skirt. So tiers, ruffles, so you could pick up the bottom of the skirt and basically hold the skirt above your head, turn around, spin, and you're not going to be able to see your knickers. So the problem with my two skirts is being I live in Queensland and it's normally pretty fucking hot here. Not at the moment. Today is a cold day. We are in winter, and I have my fabulous jacket on. I made this jacket and a little crocheting around the edges. So everything I have is pretty much made up of something else. For example, my handmaid's doll behind me here, my little June. When I found her, she had a broken hand and missing fingers. And excuse me for a second. If you see her, I fixed her little hands and made her good again. If you have a look, she's so pretty. Anyway, I can't. Hey, June. I can't throw shit out. Like, period. Can't. So, this is where I come, like, doing my blanket here. And I'm a really shit embroiderer, just gotta say. But I've made this little patch. And my daughter bought me this little, it's a uterus, and it says cuterus. So I thought it'd be perfect for this turfy blanket. Or my husband calls it my battle blanket because he loves his heavy metal and that type of thing. And in the years that we've been together since I was 18 and he was 19, and I'm now 46, nearly 47. So that just, we've been together a long time, and over that time I've sewn a lot of different patches on his denim jackets and denim vests, which he calls his battle jackets, because he loves his heavy metal. That type of, we're alternative kind of family. So this is my battle blanket. Doesn't sound as good as a battle jacket, but anyway, you sort of get the old patches that I've had on old clothes that I've taken off and I've put on this. This side is the green and the purple that used to be my skirts and is now makes up the majority of the underside of this blanket. So anyway, I was watching earlier on, rewatching the Suffragettes movie, and it's cold, so I pulled out my battle blanket and thought, while I'm chilling, warming, I would put a stone the crone on my battle blanket. Stone the crone. Anyway, this had me thinking because I'd picked up a pair of scissors and I was trimming my stitching. So, like, there's a whole heap of other stuff on this blanket, and I'll be adding more stuff to it. So, it's an old Harry Potter shirt my kids had back in the day, and that's on there. So, it's an old belly dancing headband I used to wear, so that's on there. And one of my very first ever attempts of embroidering a patch that says turf. So, but this had me thinking of this blanket, because eventually I'm going to take this to Speaker's Corner, things like that. You know, if you need a seat, need a blanket, need a picnic blanket, that's why I'm making it. But anyway, as I reached for my scissors and I was trimming it, I'd remembered last year and the experience I had last year. Now, I haven't spoken about this at all, I don't think, on this channel. And what had happened to me last year is I was a lot bigger lady. I'm still a big girl, and I was morbidly obese. I have issues where I don't see myself properly in my skin. So that doesn't matter how big or how small I get. I don't really see size. I just see me. I'm either fitting my clothes or I'm not fitting my clothes. I don't see myself properly in my own skin, and it's never prevented me from dancing, belly dancing, or anything like that. And I've had some really horrible things said to me side stage, you know, like, who let the fat bitch here? And I thought belly dancers were supposed to be young and cute. But I'm good at what I do. I'm excellent in regards to what I do with my dancing, and my sizes never held me back. And I danced at my absolute biggest. So what had happened is I cut a lot of toxic crap out of my life, and that included family members. And what I'd noticed straight up after I stopped putting up with shit and literally cut people out of my life was, the first month of me doing this, I'd lost 5 kilos. So after a few years, I'd lost 30 kilos. And this is not, I mean, look, I danced for 20 years, nearly 20 years of my life, or 18 years of my life, and always been a very big girl. And the moment I started cutting toxic people out of my life, I started losing weight. And after a few years, I'd lost 30 kilos of weight. And I'd like to say that I worked so hard for it and yada, yada, yada. And I didn't. I was probably less active than I was because I wasn't dancing as much as what I was, obviously, before COVID, after COVID sort of shit. But what had happened is I had discovered that I had a mass in my stomach, like very strange shaped abdominal, and with that amount of weight lost, I think, so it's 30 kilos, so I think that works out about 2 pounds for every kilo, so about 60 pounds of weight. What I discovered is I had a really bad hernia, like bad hernia. I didn't have a belly button. My belly button was completely non-existent. Now, I will bring this around. There is a point to this. So I'd gone to the doctors, and yes, I had a hernia. Yes, I've got to get it fixed. But in order for me to get this fixed, I had to lose some more weight. And the weight that I had to lose was another 26 kilos. I have put on a little bit of that weight, but not the whole. So by the time I got my surgery done, I had lost, so I was supposed to lose 26, I lost 23. So, plus the 30 I originally lost, we were looking about 56 kilos of weight that I had lost in 3.5 years. If I'm brave, I'll put a photo in there. Um, so my journey with my hernia operation did not go smoothly at all and turned up to be quite a big clusterfuck, in honest truth. And what had happened is they went in and they put the mesh in my stomach. Straight away, I had a reaction to the mesh. It didn't. So they always say, it's very, very low percentage. Only a few people have these reactions. Well, it's not fucking true. It's a heap of fucking bullshit. And my experience was an infection. I had 4.5 months that I lost last year in 2021. My original surgery was on the 5th of May. And then I had emergency room just straight after that. Then on the 9th of June, I had my second surgery, and that was to remove the mesh. I ended up with a hole in my abdominal quite big, and at this point, the surgeons also realised that I don't register pain correctly at all, and that was quite scary because if you can't indicate to a hospital what level of pain you're at correctly, you're not going to get treated properly. And this is the problem that I had. So I was on this roller coaster of every couple of weeks. It ended up getting infected. I ended up having to have quite a bit of dead flesh, skin, whatever, cut out of my abdominal, and which left me with a hole in my abdominal big enough to put your fist into. Not pleasant. I had a vac pack bag, so they call that reverse pressure wound care, which had me visiting a wound care clinic here in Queensland daily. We had to fight. My husband is amazing. He had all this time off to actually look after me, help me, get me to my appointments. And it really wasn't easy on the family at all. And there was a couple of moments that were frightening for my family because things weren't going well. And I'm really quite lucky to be sitting here telling this story. But here's the thing. As an avid upcycler, recycler, and someone who, look, I don't want to put extra pressures on the world and crap. And what you don't see behind the fourth wall in my little turfy corner here is the rest of my room is my art room. It's where I create most of my art. So the fourth wall behind what you see isn't as pretty. It's crunched up glasses, crunched up cups, pavers, grout, dollies without heads, because I really do love a doll art. But as I was doing my little turfy blanket and I was trimming some friends of my really terrible embroidery, but I like the idea of it being a battle blanket, a little bit punk, so I want to be able to have it, and I'm going to put on an embroidery woman, adult, human, female, the dictionary definition that Posey Parker, Kelly J. Keane made very, very popular. I want to put that type of stuff on my blanket as well. My husband and I, we go to the beach a bit. I'm not a surf bunny, but I do like sitting on the beach so I can take my battle blanket. So what had occurred to me, and I'm just going to grab these. scissors. Scissors. On these scissors, can you see the little blue on the scissors? Alright. I've got a few of these around the house. This is ridiculous. I gave a few of these away. I think I end up with about 25 pairs of scissors. How did I come across 25 odd pairs of hospital scissors, which I gave away to friends? Because every single time one of the nurses would cut one bit of bandage to go over my gut, keeping in mind I had visits to the wound clinic, to the clinical nurses. By the way, those bitches are like MacGyvers, mate. They are the MacGyvers of the medical world. Like, I was in awe of their craft skills on me. What can I say? But every single time they cut, and I missed a couple because I wasn't fast enough, but every time they would cut a bit of bandage, they would use the scissors. These scissors do not get recycled. These scissors go straight into the trash. After they've cut one bit of bandage, bend. Bandage, bend. Bandage, bend. And this is going on every bloody time I was in that hospital. Emergency rooms, because I was in and out of the bloody emergency. 4.5 months, I literally lived out of the hospital last year. If I wasn't going to and from wound clinics, I was sitting in the emergency room because something had gone wrong with the reverse pressure pump that they had on me. So I was leaking between 100 and 150 mils of plasma a day. A day. It affected my skin. It's affected my teeth. When I got my Slinky Dog tattoo last year, Eddie Benz, when I got that, my tattooist said that I had the skin of a 65-year-old woman. So it affected me a lot. Now, as a recycler, an upcycler, an artist that cannot throw shit out, what else am I going to do? But every time they cut a bandage, I'm going to grab those scissors. I'll take them, thanks. I'll have them, thanks. Yeah, don't put them in the bin, thanks. Now, the reason why I'm having this little bit of a chat and telling you a bit of this story is any person that's like politically wants to talk about climate change and they are climate activists or adamant recycler and still wants to claim pro-trans. There's a picture that I've been looking for. It's a picture of Greta Thunderbox. Thunderbox is what we call an outdoor loo. Greta Thunberg. Sorry, I call it Greta Thunderbox all the bloody time. I probably shouldn't, but I do. So old Greta Thunderbox, right? Greta Thunberg. There was a photo I was looking for, and I've been looking for it for a little while now because I knew it existed and I just had to find it. And that bloody photo is her wearing a beanie with the trans logo on it. You know, the one with the Venus plus Mars, plus Venus Mars, overdrive on. Now, I can tell you right now, Greta, how dare you? How dare you promote something like medical fucking waste? Because I would say they're not recycling all this fucking shit, are they? If that was my experience in Queensland, and I missed a lot of these, some of them went out, I was not fast enough to grab them. But Amanda, my clinical nurse, she knew that I wanted to keep them. She knew that I had a thing about this and I did not want to see this shit going into landfills. After it's cut one piece of sterilised gauze, one bit of bandage, one bit of sterilised bandage, straight in the fucking bin. So the likes of Ellen Page, whatever the fuck she thinks it fucking is, cannot promote fucking the well-being of the fucking planet, at the same time promote that they are in part of the LGBT LMNOP. They cannot. So this is something that I've been meaning to make this video a little while about, because it really did piss me off. I did find that picture of Greta Thunderbox, which I will be putting in to this video. Hypocrisy. Virtue signaling motherfuckers and hypocrisy. That's all this is. That's all this is. Where's their bathroom? Where's their bathroom with a complete bloody bathroom renovation done out of recycled materials? Like, where's that? You know? Photos of Greta everywhere wearing disposable masks. You cannot be for the medical establishment and for the planet. It's an impossibility. And most of all, it's a bloody joke. It's a bloody joke. Now, I did heal okay from that clusterfuck that was last year. It has left me with quite a scar on my stomach, where I used to kind of look a little bit like Rocky from the Rocky Horror Picture Show and having no belly button. Now I have a front hole. Yeah, a fucking front hole. I'm not shitting you. Alright? The top of my belly button is still oval shaped, but the bottom of my belly button is now a crucifix. So I have the Venus symbol as a permanent scar in my abdominal, which I am actually thinking about getting tattooed and enhanced. Let's just go with that. Don't mind my tattoos. But what else it's left me with, and this is me sharing too much, but hey, let's go there. Let's go there. So obviously where the weight had been pushing my belly button up and it stretched it, the hernia had been sitting right underneath the belly button, means that my original belly button has gone into like a cavity. This cavity is big enough to fit this part of my pinky in. To the knuckle, I can slide my finger into the cavity of my belly button and the scarring that's left there. So I have a front hole. An actual front hole. Now when I went to the doctors about this, I'm like, cavity. Front hole. Am I supposed to clean this? What the fuck am I supposed to do with a fucking front hole? So I have to keep it clean. And unlike the vaginas, this motherfucking thing won't close up. It would be really nice if my front hole just fucking closed the fuck up and I was just left with the top of the belly button and the crucifix scar. But no. I've got a hole in my abdominal from the way the scarring and everything is healed that is big enough to put that much of my pinky finger into it. I've got a micro vagina where my belly button used to be. Anyway, That's enough of my frontal. And oh baby. Anyway, that's enough of my frontal. Anyway, I'm gonna love yous for now. Talk to yous later. One more thing before I go. Stay loud, my friends. Stone out.